overwhelming for me to see so many of my friends, and I've been sitting out for a while, and I really appreciate being invited. I appreciate being with those. Oh, no, I don't want nobody to know what I'm talking about here. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I've always been the clown. I'm going to be happy all my life, so if I say something that's funny, go ahead and laugh. It's okay.
Thank you very much, Chief Gould. You guys, sorry, you'll be able to get to know him throughout the day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is with my great honor that I introduce your mayor, who has come here today to observe these proceedings and bring remarks from the city of Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Jim Kenney!
Thank you very much for the introduction, and I'm really happy and pleased to be here this afternoon with all of you. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that for centuries the land known as Philadelphia is home to and cared for by Native peoples. We recognize these tribes' strength and history of resistance to colonialization. And I could not help but recognize first of all, I heard some words, Chucky Arla, and some reference to Bobby Sands. I also watched the dancers come in, and the young ladies reminded me of Irish step dancing. So that we must have a lot in common when it comes to fighting off the British and fighting off American colonization. In the spirit of gratitude, I would like to thank Chiefs Coker, Gould, Mann, Adams, and Newman for attending, as well as NAHA founders Connie DiMalanta and Dolores Stanford for working to organize this event. I'd also like to thank Mabel Negrete for her work as Executive Director and co-founder of Indigenous Peoples Day, Philadelphia Incorporated, and I can't tell you how proud I am to be the mayor to proclaim Indigenous Peoples Day as a holiday here in Philadelphia. Also, I'd like to recognize Connie and Barton Cartwright. Barton is an elder leader, and I highly respect the Lenape. Much time has passed since they called this ground Shackamaxon, but the name and reputation of brotherly love continue on in the spirit we see and feel here today at this powwow. We must capture and preserve this spirit going forward. 340 years ago, the Lenape taught us about a sense of honor that comes from doing the right thing, the importance of respecting our parents and all elders, and the necessity of caring for each other, which we can all learn about a little bit today. We are still learning today. The City of Philadelphia is committed to honoring the legacy of today's event and to working with all community members, including First Nations and Indigenous Philadelphians, in making our city an equitable place for all. Just as Tamamen and the Lenape chiefs asked their people for peace, patience, and tolerance, we find these qualities still necessary for the times that we are living in now. We can all benefit from this wisdom and guidance, and as we strive to make our city more equitable. And we hope that all of you will join us in that mission, and that we can continue to work together to honor the legacy of the past and bring it fully into the present. The thing that fascinates me and the thing that I really admire is all people that have been repressed by European colonization, both in indigenous peoples and in people held in slavery. As time went on, they still maintained a patriotism to this country and served in our armed forces and never lost their love for our country, despite the way our country has treated them over 300 years. So I just want to commend all those who still keep the faith in America, even though their history is really difficult and horrible at times. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day, and thank you.
Wanishi, everybody. That means thank you in my language, in Delaware language. I'm honored to to speak upon you and asking the Shackamaxon, the creator of all things, that I want him to bless the city of Philadelphia, so maybe the gun violence will stop. At least this, you're killing everybody. It's not a good thing. It's a good thing to go in and just to say hi to your friend, or just to be together with, and the way William Penn wanted it. He wanted it to be what it was supposed to be, brotherly love. You know, that's what the city of brotherly love was all about. And I wish all the things that would come together so we could see it and good happiness of all the people here. This is the reason why we're here. We're still here. And I thank you for listening to me, because it's a shame that every day I see it on the news that there's a shooting every day. It's a terrible thing. It's a bad, you know. It's just a shame. And I mean, I wish you all to have the blessings of what the Creator wanted you to be with, you know, because it's a good thing. And I'm here to represent my nation and the Delaware Nation in Anadarko, Oklahoma. But I live here and I was born here. And my mom, she was the full-blooded of my family. She came here back in 1960. I mean, I was born in 1958 in Harrisburg, but anyway, that's what I wanted to say to you all. And I appreciate you coming out here, and we'll just have a good time today. Thank you very much. Wanishi.
Thank you. And so, Councilman Squilla, will you please come forward? When you have building openings, when you have graduations, when you have funerals, invite the drum. Give these guys some jobs. Build these nations again. Please say a few words, please.
Thank you. And thank you so much. I want to say what an honor it is to be here today to celebrate part of what history was here, not only in the city of Philadelphia, but our great country. William Penn wanted to treat the Native Americans as equals, and the treaty was supposed to do that at that time. And sometimes, you know, we forget history, and we shouldn't. We need to remember that. But we also need to listen. We need to listen to the people who were here, the Native Americans who were here at that time, and they passed the history along to their young ones. So their young ones understand the history and their culture and what it meant to be here at that time. We have a lot of work to do, and even the people who are of Native Americans sometimes don't always think and believe the same things. We all need to work together, because together our voices are stronger. We work together. We can disagree with each other, but understand that we stand up for each other, right? We have each other's back, and we were going to be there to never forget what happened in the past so that it will never be repeated. And that's the most important part. So thank you all for having me today. It's an honor to be here, and I really appreciate being here also with my state colleagues, Senator Seville, State Rep Hohenstein, and State Rep Isaacson. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the celebration.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a representative from the Quakers. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm State Representative Joe Hohenstein, and as Councilmember Squilla also said, Senator Nikhil Saval is here, and State Rep Mary Isaacson is here. We're actually in Mary's district. My district starts just the other side of that building and goes up 6 miles along the Delaware River. And I, in addition to being an elected official and carrying William Penn's legacy as someone in the state or Commonwealth government of Pennsylvania, I am also a member of the Religious Society of Friends and carry Penn's legacy as a Quaker. And as I said earlier, the Quakers, for all they attempted to do the right thing in certain spaces, they still were colonizers. And we still struggle with the legacy that we have unfulfilled. A legacy that for us in our faith tradition is about peace, And I want to thank Mr. Barton for praying for our city and our gun violence issues here. Thank you. The idea that an oppressed people can still recognize how much their oppressors are suffering that's a good thing. So, but peace is one of our core testimonies. Equality is another, and that is where really sadly we have failed, and that is something that I will continue to work for. And finally, the last thing that I want to mention, because it is so much of the connection to our river and our natural world, I also want to make sure that we are being good stewards to our environment and to our river. It's something that I know I share with my colleague. And just want to say thank you for having us here, and I will hand it off. Mary, you want to come up and say some words? Because Mary Isaacson. There you go.
And thank you for having us here to celebrate this with you. I made sure I had to rush out because I did not want to miss the ceremonies here. And this is my district, and I serve in the Pennsylvania State House. And in Harrisburg, one of the panels above the speaker's rostrum is of this grand park. The Pennsylvania State House obviously existed before the United States, and the painting, the beautiful mural, is of William Penn with the Lenape tribe for all of the rest of the representatives in Harrisburg to sit and stare upon every single day when they're making laws. And you can be sure I like to remind people, especially when we have disagreements, that somehow we have to all come together, because we have to be in the society together and we have to live together. So I want to thank you for bringing all these people here for this celebration today. And thank you for having me.
Senator Isaacson, Representative Isaacson, you can get their phone numbers and call them for advice, right? Yeah, anytime. Senator Savall, please. You know, the important thing about being a good Indian is respecting your elders, your leaders.
Wanishi, thank you everyone. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Nikhil Saval. I represent the 1st Senatorial District, which is all of Center City, and we're in it, of course, right now. It goes up along the river into the river wards. But this is, and forgive me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Lenape Hokeng. This is the original lands of the Lenape. I acknowledge that with every communication that we send out from our office, because we are here, but we are impermanent on this land, and the original stewards of this land, some representatives of whom are here, or should always be acknowledged when we acknowledge what has happened to this land since the 17th century. That we have had, it has been a history of colonialism, of expropriation, of exploitation, and in remembering that history, that isn't simply to incapacitate us or to feel that we cannot act. That has been a history that has been experienced across the world and throughout the world. Indigenous peoples in South America, in my own home country of India, have been exploited, and not just by colonialists, but by newer peoples, by newer governments. And so all of that should bind us into a global compact, that in this moment here, in this very regional experience, as we commemorate an occasion that was experienced by very few people in some ways, but now is remembered by more and more. We should connect it to all the events that bind us across the globe as we confront global challenges. Representative Hohenstein mentioned it, the challenge of protecting our earth, of being stewards to the earth, of climate change, the global challenges of caring for one another during a terrible pandemic, of ensuring that all of us have what we need to live and thrive. So in remembering this, I'm just grateful to remember those connections and to make sure that we all fight for them in honor of what we're remembering here today. So thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure. Ishi, do you want to, can you say Wanishi?
Wanishi.
And Senator Saval, is there anything like this in India? A treaty like this, an agreement?
You know, the land of India, and really it's the subcontinent of South Asia, because it's been divided, as many people know, into Pakistan and Bangladesh, but the subcontinent has experienced so many waves of migration, of invasion, and of course of colonialism, that there are ways that are marking so many different compacts and meetings and meetings of people, you know, over the course of centuries. And some of them are genuine meetings and moments of peace. Some of them are moments of coercion, of exploitation, and I think all of them are meaningful and are worth commemorating. Even the kind of terrible history that we, you know, that in part we remember today as well. So, absolutely, thank you.
Thank you. You guys, I'm not from Philadelphia. And I gotta tell you, I am deeply impressed. What an extraordinary city you live in. They don't do this for us in Maryland. You know, do they do this in Virginia? You know, everybody comes out. I'm just very, very impressed. And I want you all to know how special this moment was, and to take this and tell your friends and your neighbors what you've seen here today. And let's try to build this back up for the peace of our city, our state, and our nation. I just can't remember a moment like this living in New York and Boston and Richmond. I just can't remember a moment like this. It's very special. And so the Native American House Alliance thanks all of you, the politicians and the chiefs, who have come here today to make this a sacred and special ceremony for all of you to remember. And be sure to get a program if you haven't, because it explains some of the history. And at this time, when we return to the dance arena, we'd like your assistance in honoring the first responders, because we want to show you how Native people do things. You saw the traditional dance, the intertribal dance, the specialty dances. We also do honor dances for people who have done great things. And each of you know that the first responders have been so vital and essential to us as we come out of this crisis. And so the Powwow Committee wanted you to have a chance to say thank you to the first responders of your city with a special honor dance that all of you can participate in. And so at this time, we'll return back to the dance arena and go under the direction of the great Mr. Yuri Ridgway. Oh wait, one prayer.
And if people want to know what this brand looks like, go up to the bulletin board and you'll see what Penn Treaty Park really looked like. It's in the bulletin board in the front of the park.
There was a call for a prayer. Yes, you're supposed to. Yuri. Yuri.
First of all, I'd like to say is that, man, we've come a long ways from when I was a little kid coming out here protesting. so that we could stand up and be here today to do things like this. And I really give a lot of thanks to all of those that come before me that stood up to be proud of who they were, proud to be Native, and come up here and protest so that our land could be, we could be part of this land once again. human being, Kishmi. Thank you, Creator, for this beautiful day. Thank you for this day you've given to us. Thank you for our family. Thank you for our friends. Thank you for allowing us to be human beings, to come back to this land that we call Lenape-Hoking, this land that we call where our ancestors, where the blood of our people are buried, their memories, their thoughts, their actions. We come here today on this land where we made a treaty one time long ago. And we come here today, Kishlaming, to remind all those that are here that we have not forgotten that treaty. We've not forgotten those promises. And we're Kayla Wanishi, truly thankful that we're able to speak our languages. We're able to participate in our cultures. We're able to breathe and live in this beautiful way. We're thankful for all those that are around us, for all those that come out here and share in this way, because they want to learn, they want to understand who we are as indigenous people, as the original people of this land. So we offer this, we shout out this tobacco to you, Kishlaming, so that we can be, be reminded that we come in a pitiful way. We come as a broken people, but we come with a good heart. So we offer this tobacco to you. Okay.
Oh, Mitakbia Yasin, we're all related. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we do that. On to the next event. We are honoring our first responders. Please join us. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, gentlemen, thank you.